What up, y'all? What's good? What's good? Back again, another day. Here we go. You know what time it is. What I want to talk about today is persistence. But as you know, before we get there, we got to do the house cleaning. So make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe, you share. Let's spread this word so everybody can hear what we got to talk about. It's great information, and I want to spread it across the nation. So let's do what we got to do to keep it true and get this thing on out here. You feel me? All right. So like I said, today what we're talking about is persistence. And this is one that I've been itching to talk about for the longest. And I've talked about it before, but I've never really had the chance to just like go in on persistence, like the time that I needed. Because before, you know, when I was posting on Instagram every day, it was like a little minute. So I had to try to cram everything in and out, get it as quickly as possible. But now that we're doing a longer platform, I can kind of take my time and digest and soak on things. That way I can make sure that everybody has a thorough understanding of what I'm talking about. And it makes my captions shorter too. So, you know, man, persistence, that's just the biggest thing. Anytime you set your mind on something, you say you want to do it, you say you want to have it, you gotta be persistent. Otherwise, it's not gonna happen. Like, you know, a lot of people, they say they're gonna do something and they jump into it and they strike quick and they hit big and they never hit again. Those are, you know, your one-hit wonders. They didn't go through a process to get to where they got. You know, lightning just struck and they weren't prepared for it. So when the lightning hit, you know what I'm saying, they enjoyed the moment and they stayed the person that they were before the lightning struck. They never changed. But when you're going through a process, that process shapes you and molds you. You know, it helps you build persistence. It helps you build that resilience that you need in order to thrive and survive. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times we aren't persistent when we say we want something. You know, I was looking at the election and, you know, I kind of sat back and kept my mouth shut about it. You know, I was just looking, seeing. I saw a lot of people that were talking about they're revolutionaries and they're going after change and social justice and whoop-de-whoop, and they weren't going to vote and the whole nine. So I just looked and I sat back, and then I just started seeing the stickers pop up, and I'm like, oh, thought you wasn't voting. I thought you didn't trust the system. Thought you didn't believe in this. Thought you didn't believe in that. And so, you know, I was just like, oh, okay, I see. You know, programming is real, and I definitely get it. You know, I'm not really trying to go in on anybody. I'm not saying voting is right or voting is wrong. You know, I feel like you got to do what's best for you, and, you know, other people got to do what's best for them. But, you know, it's, if people get on the same page and they have an agenda about something and they're going to be consistent about it, then I think they should see it through and not at the last hour, you know, change up on what they said they were going to do. That's not persistent. You know, if you don't believe in the system, don't let anybody fear you or scare you into believing into something that you don't believe in, you know. But that's either here nor there. You know, persistence, man, is sticking to your guns and standing firm on what you believe in and seeing it through all the way into the end. You know, you ride it until the wheels fall off. And then when the wheels fall off, you go in the trunk and you get a spare, or you call a tow truck, and then you get it to where you need to be, and then you get back on it. You know what I'm saying? Persistence is just that mentality that you're not going to give up no matter what happens. If you're going to do something, or if you say you're going to do something, you stick by it, and you go through with it no matter what. You know what I'm saying? And this is a terrible analogy, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. So if you think back to World War II, you had what was called kamikaze. The Japanese, when the Japanese were going to war with America, and you had Pearl Harbor and whatnot, you had the kamikaze aircraft pilots, and their whole mentality was, you know, I'm gonna see this thing through to the end. So what would happen is they would get their missions knowing that they were going to die, and so they're like, all right, cool, if I'm going, I'm gonna take you with me. And they was just crashing their airplanes in the battleships, or they'd crash their airplanes in the other airplanes, but they do whatever they do because they already had it in their mind that, you know, either I'm gonna complete this mission or I'm gonna die. And I'm not saying go out there and be crazy or do something drastic or, you know what I'm saying, just be a suicidal maniac. Not at all. But you need to have the mentality that I'm going to make this work. And there's no other option. There's no other alternative. There's no change in my mind. There's no nothing. Either this works or there's nothing else for me, you know? And that's kind of what led me into the life that I'm living now on this platform, you know? When I quit teaching, I said I'm going to do the real estate thing and I'm going to make it work. Nothing else, you know? I'm going to figure this real estate thing out. And here we are. Let me see, that was 2016, it's 2020 now, and I'm still going through it. And you know, I don't want to give anybody the illusion that it's easy or that it's perfect or that it's fun. And I got horror stories for you, you know. I've been evicted, and I've mentioned it before, but like business got really, really, really slow, and it's like, gotta go. The week of my graduation, when I got my master's degree, so the week I got my master's, that was that like Friday. And then that Tuesday, I had to pack up all my stuff and dip. You know what I'm saying? I had to go back home and live with my mom's. Like, that shit didn't work out. I had to go live on my uncle's couch. I had to go live on my other uncle's couch. I ended up not having a vehicle for a point in time. Like, you know, it's just been persistence. And so those types of situations is why I can sit here and come and talk to y'all and let y'all know that, you know, you gotta go for what you want, man. The way I look at it, and it's a quote from Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon. It was like, you know, if I look back on my life at 80, would I feel bad about, you know, not going after this chance, or would I feel bad about, but I look back, it was something about looking back on his life and would he regret being a banker? And he was like, yeah, you know, I regret being this all my life. You know, I can't live with that. I can live with going after this opportunity and doing what I want to do, and it fails and it blows up in my face and I have to start over. I can live with that. But I couldn't live with never going for it. You know what I'm saying? He decided to go for it, and look at what happened. And, you know, I'm not going to be one of these people that get up here and glorify struggling and going through hard times, because that shit is not fun. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing fun about having to call people and ask to borrow money, or, you know, having a bummer ride, or, you know what I'm saying, shaking and moving and trying to figure out how I'm going to pay these bills, or how I'm going to do this, or how I'm going to do that. There's nothing fun about it. But when your mind is made up and you're going after something, you got to do what you got to do. And that just goes back to persistence, man. Like, you just determine, you know, you only got to be right one time. You know, you can strike out as many times as you want. It only takes one home run. You know what I'm saying? You only got to be right once. And then everything else goes away. And I think that's Mark Cuban who said that. You know, it's like, it doesn't matter how many experiments you got wrong, or how many things you got wrong, or how many times you failed, or how many times you went broke. You only need to get rich one time, and you're good. You know what I'm saying? And that's what keeps me going, and that's what kept me going, and that's what gave me my drive, I guess you could say, and my ambition. It's just knowing that I only need to make it work one time, and then once I get it done that first time, I'm straight. You know, now granted, with that being said, it doesn't mean that I'm gonna kick my feet up and go relax on the beach somewhere and I never have to do anything else. I have to maintain it. And that's where, you know, the people that haven't built anything, that's where they come in and they get the game wrong, because they think, you know, oh man, I'm here now, I'm good, I don't have to do anything. And they just rest on their laurels. And when you rest on your laurels, that's when you lose everything, because you're not growing, you're not elevating anymore. So you gotta keep pushing, and you gotta keep moving forward. Persistence doesn't go away. You know what I'm saying? You always got to be hungry. You always have to go after it, because you never know when your jersey's going to get picked and you could lose it all. And then when you do, what happens next? You know, you don't never want to be one of those luck of the draw type people that, you know, I got here because I was lucky. You know, of course, luck plays a factor in it. You know, you never know if you're going to be that lucky person or not, but you got to be willing to grasp that opportunity and never let it go. Like, when you get that opportunity and you get that chance and it falls in your lap, you got to hold on to it, because you never know when that opportunity is going to come back, if it's ever going to come back. you know, so you got to hold on to it and make it last. And that goes back into what I was saying about persistent. The more persistent you are, the more chances you have to get lucky and create your own life and create your own, you know what I'm saying, way of living. It's up to you to execute on that persistence. You got to be out there every day, all the time, getting it. Because it only takes that one time. That's it. So, you know, persistence is just pushing through. Cold calling, man, that's another example. I had to make so many cold calls a day. You know, getting on the phone, talking to people, being rude, being upset, being angry. Keep calling, keep calling, keep calling. Like, man, it was so terrible. I remember one time I was calling a lady, and it was a probate. Probate just means that the person passed away and they left the property to someone else. So, you know, I'm making the calls, doing what I do. This was like when I first got started, because I was killing probate back then, like before it kind of got oversaturated and it kind of shut down the courthouses and stuff. Man, listen, I was making like, it was Saturdays and I was just making calls, because at the time when I very first got started, I was working, still teaching full time, and then I said, you know what, Saturdays and Sundays, I'm just going to do this real estate thing. So anyways, I was making the calls, and I was talking to this one lady that she called me just the worst pop. She was like, yo, you're just the scum of the earth. You're a bottom feeder. You're trash. I don't know why you're calling my phone. You know good and well I'm not selling this property, and you know we're just getting over this loss, and you're just evil and you're sick, and I hope you die and burn in hell so you can feel what I'm feeling. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so it's like, well, ma'am, you know, you have a good day. If you change your mind, give me a call. Hung up, went right on to the next call. Because, you know, I mean, you can't take that type of stuff personally, especially when you're after something and you're chasing it. You know, you got to understand that that just comes with the game. You know, for every person that you have that's going to be happy to hear you call and happy to talk to you, you're going to have people that think you are the scum of the earth. And you got to deal with both of them. Again, going back to baseball, you know, you can't be happy when you get home runs and sad when you get strikeouts. You know, it's just a part of the game. That's why it's there. You know, so you just got to take those chances, and you got to stay focused and keep going through. And, you know, most people would let that situation like that discourage them from picking up the phone. I'm like, man, I'm out here trying to get it. I got to change my life. I got to do something different, man. I got to break through. And, you know, that's the thing. It's another movie I was watching. I really want y'all to check it out. I think I might have mentioned it before. It's called The Butterfly Project, I think. And it's with the guy that played Mark Zuckerberg in The Social Network, Jesse Eisenberg, or Jesse Eisenberg, however you pronounce his name. And the guy from True Blood, one of the vampires. And so, you know, they're trying to build this business. And every time they get one step ahead, something comes and knocks them back down, and they got to go back to the drawing board and improvise. I think it was like they were trying to create a software that would allow them to conduct business in like 17 seconds. And so Jesse Eisenberg went to an investor to get him to pour money into them so that they could develop their business. And dude was like, you know, 17 seconds is cool, but, you know, we need to be at 16 seconds, or otherwise, you know, we're wasting time. And so Jesse Eisenberg went back to his cousin, and he was like, which was the dude from True Blood, it was like, you know, I know it's impossible, but I need you to find a way to shave off a second. And dude just started getting upset. He started flipping over stuff, like, you know, I don't know how I'm going to do it. It's impossible. I can't do this. And Jesse Eisenberg was like, you know, I get it. I understand. I'm with you. But I need you to figure out how to get this done and shave off that second. And so dude was mad, but he went back, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, like, fast forward a little bit later in the movie, he was just working. And then eventually he shaved off that second. And then they were off to the races. You know what I'm saying? And then they had a former boss who was trying to sabotage their business, and they had to deal with her and overcome her. Somebody went to jail, you know what I'm saying, without giving away too many major plot points, you know. But the thing is, they stepped through it, and they saw it through as if they were going to die. You know, they put their lives on everything. They was like, you know what, I'm going to go for this. Like, one of them's marriage started suffering, and things started falling apart around their life, but they were like, you know what, I'm gonna make this work or I'm gonna die. And I ain't gonna say what happened in the end, but it was a good ending for the story. Another example, the TV show The Blacklist. If you watch that, you'll see Raymond Reddington. He's the #1 most wanted on the FBI's list. But when you see him, he never worried, always calm, calculated, got everything under control, just chilling. And it's like he could be in the worst case scenario. He done got shot, he done been on death row. They done caught him and put him in jail multiple times. And no matter what, he's always chilling. He's always calm, cool, and collected. Because in his mind, he knows, I'm going to figure something out. I just need time and space to maneuver. And I'll come up with something. And that's the mindset that you got to have in your persistency. Nothing's going to stop you. Nothing's going to stand in your way. It might slow you down. It might set you back. It might change your trajectory. It might take you a little longer. But you're going to continue to push forward no matter what. Nobody's going to take away your will to fight. And once you have that mindset, then, nobody can stop you. Somebody might beat you temporarily. Somebody might slow you down, like I said. But no matter what, you're going to continue to strive and prosper and move forward. And that's the mentality and the mindset that you got to have in everything that you do. If you set your mind to something, don't let your family get in the way. Because I could do a whole episode. As a matter of fact, I might just talk about what you're going to deal with as far as family. That's a whole separate one right there in itself. But it's just a part of the game. And then you look at your friends and you see, they're living life and they're enjoying life, and they're doing a lot of things that you can't do because you're focused on this right here. But you got to keep going. You got to keep pushing forward. You got to stay persistent. No matter what, just keep moving forward. And I can't stress that enough. Even sometimes you do have to fall back. Like I said, I took major L's, man. I lost just about everything, and I had to move back home. And I couldn't stay home no more, so I had to move with family and sleep on a couch, and you know what I'm saying, like, start over. Still had Koi, still had to get things done, still had to deal with people talking about, I'm unrealistic, or I'm wasting time, or I'm a failure, or I'm a bad dad. Like, people came up with everything they could to try to stop me, but I just made up my mind, like. And really, it started when I was 15, and at 15, I told myself, I'm going to be rich, and I'm going to just change my life, and I'm going to take care of the people that care about me. Back then, of course, as a little kid, I consider 15 a little kid. At that time, I didn't really have a plan. I didn't really have an idea. I just knew I was going to figure something out. And so that's always been my compass. Like, I felt like that was my purpose, and that's what drove me. So, and that even led to me leaving the teacher profession, because it's like, I'm working to do these things, and I'm trying to hit these goals. And if I'm not hitting these goals, and this is in the way, then I need to come over here and do something different, so that way I can stay on course to what I know I need to do, because this is the promise that I've made to myself, and I'm not breaking that for nobody. And that's the persistence. And again, it's been times where I had to think, I had to be selfish. It's like, I can do something for somebody else, or I can take this and I can pour it into myself. And when you pour into yourself, people may not understand it, or sometimes you gotta hurt feelings or crush souls. But if you're after something, and you get it, you can always fix it later. Sometimes, well, not always. Hopefully you can go back and fix it, and that's what keeps you going forward. Or if you can't fix it, you did everything in your right mind, and you know what your intentions were. So, man, more than anything, if you're watching this video, I want you to know that you can do it. You are worthy. You are capable. You have all of the tools that you need to complete the task, whatever your task is. You just have to stay persistent. You have to stay the course. You have to keep going. If it requires you to put in extra hours, put in the extra hours. If it requires you to learn and study, learn and study. If you got to go back to school, go back to school. If you got to cut off women and stop dating, cut off women and stop dating. If you gotta cut off men and stop dating, cut off men and stop dating. You know, you only get one life. You gotta go for every single thing that you want. Because once you're gone, you're gone. That's it. Like, I don't know what happens in the afterlife. I can't tell you. I've never been there. You know, so you gotta go for it all. You know, and you can. You're capable. You have everything that you need already. You just gotta stay the course, stay consistent, stay persistent, keep moving forward, keep going. Don't let anybody get in your ear and tell you that you can't. You know, it's going to be hard. It's not easy at all. It's going to be a journey. You're going to get spanked. You're going to get shot. You're going to get hurt. You know, and I mean metaphorically. Hopefully you're not doing anything that's going to get you shot literally. But, you know, you're going to suffer defeat. You're going to get your dreams crushed. But after that, get back up and keep going. And you can have whatever you want. Because that's how this world is designed. Alright? Hold it down.